Assalamualaikum to our lecturer, Madam Saliza, Binti Ramli and fellow classmates. This is our CSC408 group project of Employees Payroll System, and we decided to make Employees Payroll System of Ampang Putera Hospital. Next, I will briefly introduce our group members. This is Syaza Maisarah binti Suhaimi. She will explain the introduction to of project significance and the payslip. Next is Nurin Syakirah binti Muhamad Zawawi. She will explain on to project significance and the conclusion. As for Nurul's Fitrah binti Muhamad Sopie, she will explain the home page, the dashboard page and the employees data. This is me, Nuramira Afiqah binti Mazlan, and I will explain on the employees payroll. Lastly is Nurul Fatihin Nabilah binti Abdul Razak. She will explain on the pivot table and charts and the payslip. So let's begin.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Syaza Maisarah binti Suhaimi and I will explain on the introduction and project significance of Employees Payroll System of Ampang Putera Hospital. So let's begin. So these are the content of our Employees Payroll System. We have introduction, Employees Payroll, project significance, pivot table and chart, employees data and payslip. So let's begin with introduction. As for the introduction, Ampang Putera Hospital was established in 20th of October 2020 with a total of 69 staff. Since the hospital is newly established, the system is a bit inefficient. Therefore, to overcome this issue, we decided to implement the Employees Payroll System to smooth up the payroll system management. The Employees Payroll System will help the hospital analyze and manage the employees' data effectively and efficiently. This is because the hospital can review the collected data easily without any errors through the Employees Payroll System as it is organized accordingly. Without question, the hospital will have an efficient Employees Payroll System. Next, let's move to the project significance that can be obtained by the organization. So the first project significance is that the top management will have the right to access easily all the data regarding the employees' payroll, the net payroll, the working hours as well as produce an adequate payslip. This is because it is important to ensure that the top management are able to produce a proper payslip because they have all the necessary data that they needed such as employees' payroll and its respective working hours that will help the top management in giving out the payslip accordingly. Next, the hospital administration is able to detect any errors that might occur easily as the data is already being organized and set according to its category. Hence, it will be easier for the hospital administration to correct any mistakes if they are able to detect it easily. So that is all from me and we will proceed to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurin Syakirah binti Muhamad Zawawi. So I will present about the project's significance. Okay, so this is the project significance. Okay, so it helps to ensure a smooth process of the organization in the process of clicking in the data. It is because through this project, it can enhance the employees' payroll system to become more systematic and well-functioned. So this can easier for the organization to check and also update the data of the employees in the payroll system as it is become more efficient and effective. Okay. Next, for the other project significance of this project is it helps to enhance the payment making process to each respective employees in the organization as the data has all the necessary information that needed to make any payment, whether it is paying the employee's salary or payment involving a third party with the organization. So therefore this can ensure the organization can make the payment to the employees in a right and effective way without facing any problem as all the data for the employees in the hospital Ampang Putera that needed for the payroll system are complete and also adequate.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Alis Fitrah Binti Muhamad Sopie. Okay, today I would like to explain about how I managed to active this button. Okay, so basically we use the hyperlink. So hyperlink here is the main function in activate for every each button, which is to linkers in every pages. So what I can say that this hyperlink is a reference to the data that users can follow by clicking or only tapping on the button easily. So we do have the home button, back button, forward button, and also the button to the menu. So I want to show you how I want to make this start button function very well. So firstly, you click on the right, and then this will pop up on. This dialog box will pop up on. So we take the edit hyperlink, and then this will appear. And then we use the place in this document. We select to the cell that we want to pop up on, and then we use the dashboard, and then we click OK, and then this start button will go to the dashboard pages. So we just click on, and then it will appear to the dashboard pages. So basically we do have 6 buttons here, and we use the hyperlink for each button to function very well. In the other hand, we can see this button will be functioned by having the hyperlink in to connect it with each other, and also can well manage. So basically this will navigate the users to previous and next page. So I will show you one by one. So we click on the introduction, and it will appear to the introduction pages. And this is the back button, this is the forward button, and also this is the menu button or the dashboard button. So we click on the back, and it will back to the dashboard. So we click on again. This is for the forward button. It will appear to the project significance, and we go back. Okay, so this is the menu button, which is the dashboard. We click on, and then it will appear at the dashboard pages. So I will click on the employees payroll, and this is our payroll. And then we go to the dashboard pages. We click on the project significance. This is project significance. Go back, and then this is the pivot table and chart. Okay, and then we go back to the dashboard. We click on the employees data. This is our employees data. Okay, we go to the dashboard. This is our pay slip, and then we have the back button and also the dashboard button. So we try to click on the back button. It is function very well, and it goes most to the page by page. Back, we click on back again, and yeah, until the pages dashboard pages. So on these dashboard pages, we do have the home button. Only at the dashboard we put it the home button, because it easily for us to appear this home button to the dashboard, because it will manage well by clicking and tapping on the button easily. So we click on the home button, and it will appear at the home pages. will explain about the employees' data. So this is the employees' data, which is generally this data show about 69 experts, where it consists of 36 female and also 33 male. Okay, hence each these employees have the payroll ID and also the employees ID that created for each employees. Okay, besides by having this ID, these organizations will easily detect each employees based on their ID. So in addition, employees ID are more easier for the top management to find the employees, where instead of must to find by name. So by having this ID, the employees information can be keyed in based on their ID only. And then as we can see, it have the payroll ID, employees ID, working hours and overtime hours. So below here are stated about the working hours and also the overtime hours, which is consists of average working hours, minimum working hours, maximum working hours, average, minimum and maximum of the overtime hours. Okay, basically what I want to conclude here, we find this. Basically, I want to explain more about this, how we get the average, minimum and maximum. So firstly, as you can see, we use the average function. So I will show you again. Firstly, we go to the function, or we can insert these functions. We click here, and then we want to find the average working hours. So we select at the average, and then we click on OK, and then this we select the working hours table. Until this, and we click OK, and then it will pop out the average working hours of these employees. So same here, we do the minimum. We just find the minimum formula, and then this, and for the overtime hours, I will show you. Okay, firstly we click on the functions, we choose the average overtime. Okay, this is the function that we want to use, either average or maximum or minimum, we can find it, and then we choose to average. Okay, and then we select the overtime hours table, and then done. Okay, and then it will pop up out the numbers of the average overtime hour. So we can see here, by using this formula, average, maximum and minimum formula, it will easier for the organizations to calculate how many the every employees do the working hours and the overtime hours. So it will easier for the organizations to calculate on their working hours and the overtime hours.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nuramira Afiqah Binti Mazlan. Today, I'm going to explain to you the employees payroll. Let's start. Okay, as you guys can see, this is the employees payroll data sheet. Okay, in this sheet, we are going to calculate the employee's payroll of Ampang Putera Hospital by using various formulas and functions, such as the addition formula, the subtraction formula, the multiplication formula, the if function, and the sum function. By using all of these formulas and functions, we can obtain the value of gross salary, employees' provident fund or EPF, tax, net salary, and the total amount of basic salary, bonus, gross pay, EPF, tax, and net salary. Okay, first of all, we are going to calculate the gross salary. For gross salary, we use the addition formula where we added up the basic salary value and the bonus value. For example, in the formula bar, what we did is we insert the equal and then we select the basic salary cell value, which is located in G cell, plus the bonus cell value, which is located in the which is located in the H cells, and then we click enter. Then we will get the total amount of gross salary of Ampang Putera Hospital employees. Okay, in this case, we calculated the Jessica gross salary. Okay, in order to calculate the other employees, what we did is we just double click the cell and then it will appear like this where the value is auto-filled by the system. Okay, so we are no longer needed to calculate one by one for the gross salary of each one of the employees. It is easy and simple, right? Okay, next we move to EPF. For EPF, we use the multiplication formula where in the formula bar, we insert equal symbol and then we select the basic salary cell values and then we multiply by 12% and then we click enter. Okay, and then the value will be appear like this. For EPF, we use multiplication. For gross salary, we use addition formula. Okay, and again, to calculate for the rest, we just double click and then it will be auto-filled by the system. Okay, next we move to tax. Okay, for tax, we use different function where we use the if function. Okay, if function is used to sort the data according to a given logic, where it allows us to make a logical comparison between a value and the expected results. Okay, in the if function, there are two statement value which is true and false. Okay, in this project, we make a logical comparison where if the gross salary is greater than 5,000, the value of tax will return to 5% or otherwise it will return to 1%. Okay, let us show you how we calculate the tax value. Okay, in the formulas tab, okay, we click insert function and then it will appear like this, and then in the logical test we insert the gross salary cell, we put greater than symbol and then we insert 5,000. Okay, in the value if true, we put 5%, value if false, we put 1%. It shows that if the gross salary cell or value is greater than 5,000, then it will return to 5% or otherwise it will return to 1%. Okay, and then we'll click OK. And then the amount or the value will be appeared automatically. And again, we double click the cell to autofill the whole cells. Okay, as you guys can see, okay, if the gross salary is greater than 5,000, okay, for Jessica Ng, the gross salary is greater than 5,000. So the tax will return to 5%. Okay, another example. Okay, for Nurul Fatihah Binti Roslan, the gross salary is lesser than 5,000. So the tax value will return to 1%, which shows that the statement value is false. For the Jessica Ng, the statement value is true, where it is greater than 5,000. Okay, moving on from that, we move to net salary. Okay, for the net salary calculation, we use the subtraction as well as the multiplication formula. Okay, for this calculation, it is actually same with the gross salary and EPF, where we insert the formula that we want to use in the formula bar. Okay, for example, in the formula bar, we insert the equal symbol and then we select the gross salary cell value minus by the gross salary cell value multiplied by the tax and then minus by the EPF cell value. And then we click enter and then we'll get the total net salary for Jessica Ng. Okay, and again, we will double click the cell and it will be auto-filled by the system again. As you guys can see, in the formula bar, there are 3 different colors which represent 3 different cells, where the I3 represent the I cell of gross salary, K3 represent the tax cell which is located in K cells, and J3 represent the EPF cells. Okay, lastly, we move to the calculation of total amount of basic salary and the others. Okay, for this calculation, we use the same function which is the sum function. Okay, the sum function is used to add the values. It usually combines the values from a selection of columns or rows from the selected range. Okay, in this project, what we did is, okay, in the formulas tab or menu, we insert function. Okay, wait. I will clear the content first for me to show you how we did it. Okay, in the total of basic salary cell, okay, formulas, insert function, and then it will appear like this. Okay, so we click sum, we click OK, and then it will appear like this also. For this column, okay, we will select the basic salary cell as we want to calculate the total amount of basic salary. So we select the first cell until the last cell. Okay, and then we click OK. Then the total value of, then the total amount of basic salary will be obtained automatically. For the rest, we'll apply the same function to calculate the total amount of each values. Okay, for the bonus, for the gross pay, for the EPF, for the tax, for the net salary. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul, Fatihin, Nabilah, Binti, Razak, and I will explain on pivot tables, pivot charts, filters and slices, as well as in index and match functions in the payslip. Firstly, in pivot tables and charts. Pivot table helps us to summarize and analyze the large quantities data in much simpler form from the database. In order to create these pivot tables, we selected the data from employees' payroll starting from B2 until L71. From this, we can use the slices here to make us more easier to look at a certain data at the time needed. After selecting the data, we went to the Insert tab and click on Pivot Table command. From here, we choose to place it on a new worksheet, and this is how it turns out. The data in the rows, values, columns, and filters can be changed according to our preferences and priorities at a time, as now we put department in the rows and net salary in the values field, as we wanted to know the sum of net salary by the department. But what if we wanted to know the sum of basic salary earned by each department? Then we just remove the net salary and drag the basic salary into the values field. Down below is another pivot table that we created as we wanted to know the sum of basic salary by employees position. We used the same steps as we did in the first pivot table, and this is how it turns out. Next, we move to the pivot charts. Pivot charts show the data in the pivot table in form of the charts. So in order to create these pivot charts, we click on any cell in pivot tables, then went to the Insert tab again and click on Pivot Chart command. From here, a dialog box will pop up and show several charts to be chosen from. In our project, we chose 3D clustered column. So this is our pivot charts. So from this, any changes that we did to the pivot tables will affect the pivot charts as well. To illustrate the statement, let's assume that we wanted to know the sum of gross salary by department. Then we remove the basic salary and drag the gross salary into the values field. So this is how the pivot chart turns out and the pivot table changes as well. To make it more interesting, we can add as many data as we want at the same time. For example, let's say we wanted to view the net salary and the gross salary both at the same time. Then we just drag the net salary into the values field and the charts will show 2 bars at the same time. Blue representing the gross salary and red representing the net salary. On top of that, there are some filters that we can use to look at a particular data. For instance, if we wanted to know how many departments that have net salary less than 50,000 ringgit, then we can just go to the row labels and click at the button and it shows 2 filters that can be used. So now we use the value filters and click on less than. So all we need to do is just type 50,000 and click OK. So it shows that paramedical department is the one who have the sum of net salary under 50,000 ringgit. Not to mention, all the amount is put under the currency value as it to make us easier to notice and recognize. To cut down the hassle, we can just drag the information that we want from here to the filters field. For example, we wanted to know the net salary of the chief of surgery in the surgical department, then we just need to drag the employee's position to the filters field. And this is where the filters came out and it shows all positions. Then if we wanted to know the chief of surgery net salary, then we must untick all and just take the chief of surgery instead. So here it shows the net salary earned by the chief of surgery in the surgical department. Not just that, the slices here are to make the filtering process to be more faster and reachable. To begin with, we went to Analyze tab and click on Insert Slicer command. So now we click on Employee's position as we did manually before. So this is how it turns out. We now can click on any position that we want without having to drag anymore. But what if you wanted to look at all positions except for 3 positions? Then all we have to do is hold the control button on the keyboard and click on the position that we will not want to see. And this is how it will be. But what if we wanted to look at more than one position at a time? Then we just need to place the cursor at the first position that we want to see and drag the cursor all the way down to the last position that we want. So the graph will change as well as the pivot tables. Therefore, that will be the end of everything needed to be said in these pivot tables and charts. Thank you.
Next, I will explain on payslip. In this sheet, we use data validation and index and match formulas to make the payslip function. I will explain data validation while Nurul Fatihin will explain on the index and match function. To begin with, data validation can prevent data entry by an organization to certain cells, as it will notify users to enter valid data when a cell is selected and display an error code when a user enters invalid data. This data validation will come out with the employee's information based on what has been set up from the employee's payroll. All things said, we went to the Data tab and click on the Data Validation command. From there, a dialog box will pop out, and we chose the list in the Allow section and selected the payroll ID information in the employee's payroll sheet, which is from E3 to E71, and clicked OK. So the E3 is started from Jessica Ng all the way to E71, which is Samad bin Said. So here is how it works. As you can see, when you selected a different payroll ID, a different employee's name will pop out according to its respective payroll ID. This payslip will shows a different payroll ID of different respective employees. The data validation here will make it easier to find the payroll information from all employees by using their payroll ID only. Thus, from this data validation, the index and match function will be a helpful hand and work together in making the payslip work. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Fatihin and I will continue what Syaza has explained just now. After the data validation has inserted, now we put the index and match formula in the formula bar to make it the data change according to the payroll ID selected. Why do we use index and match functions instead of Vlookup? Okay, that is because Vlookup cannot recognize function and read the data well in our project, as it becomes an error whenever we use it. Thus, we try another alternative, which is the index and match formulas, where it resulted in the same final result and changes that we want in the Vlookup. Index and match function is not that hard anyway, as we just need to insert the data in the right places and formulas, and it is a combination from two formulas into one. First thing first, we selected the data from employee's payroll sheet from B2 until L71 and name it as data. To prove it, when we type data in this name box and press enter, it will select all the information that I have mentioned earlier. Moving forward, we click on the F9 cell, which is the name of the employees, and type in the index and match formulas. But firstly, we type in the index, and data will be representing the array, match will be under the row and number, and here is when match formula takes over. So from now, H9 will be under the lookup value, which is the payroll ID from the employees, the table 2 of the payroll ID, which is the information of the employee's payroll ID starting from E3 until E71. And 0 is the match type, which we have 0 to 2. 0 is the exact match. From here, the match formula is now done and the index formula will continue its algorithm. 1 will be put under the column number representing the first column in the employee's payroll, which is the name. So the final formula will be like this. After that, we just copied the full formula and paste it on other cell needed, and here's how it turns out. Only the number at the back will change. That is because, as I have mentioned earlier, the number at the back is representing the column number in the employee's payroll sheet. So each one of these cells need to use the exact number in their payroll sheet column. For example, in position, the column number was written 3 because in the employee's payroll sheet, employee's position was number 3 from the names column. All things being said, that is how our payslip came to life and functioning well. Thank you.
As a conclusion, by using various of functions in Excel, it can help us to improve the employees' payroll system in Ampang Putera Hospital. It is because when we use various functions in Excel, it can enhance the efficiency of this payroll system. Therefore, for this project, we use various function and formula, which are first, for home and dashboard, we use hyperlink for all the buttons. Next, for employees data, we use average function, minimum function, and maximum function to find the value of average, minimum, and maximum working hours and overtime of Ampang Putera Hospital. Besides, for employees payroll, we use addition formula, subtraction formula, and multiplication formula to calculate the gross salary, employees provident fund (EPF), and the net salary of the Ampang Putera Hospital employees. We also use if function to calculate the tax value and sum function to calculate the total amount of basic salary, bonus, gross pay, employees provident fund (EPF), tax, and net salary. Other than that, we also use pivot table, 3D cluster column for chart, slices, and lastly for payslip, we use index match function and data validation. Therefore, by using various function and formula in this Excel, it also can help us to design better spreadsheets for this employees payroll system in Ampang Putera Hospital, as we can organize the data in a way that take advantage of formulas which can eliminate errors and troubleshooting significantly.
Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.